gents. Welcome to my channel. Here we have footage of my Corsair remote control airplane. Ryan is on my Lenovo Tab 2A. Unfortunately, he had an issue with the camera right after the first set of shots, and it went all wonky. But I know I've talked about this airplane a lot, and here it is in flight. I wish I could have had some landing footage, but whatever. It is what it is. It's a gorgeous day, gorgeous airplane. Brian Field, one of my viewers, emailed me about a month and a half ago and said, "Hey, I got a bunch of Tamiya and Team Losi trucks. Would you like them? Because I'm not using them anymore, and I just don't have a place, a room for them in my house anymore. Would you, I know you got a lot of kids. Would you like these?" And I was like, "Yeah, heck yeah." So I met him in Breezewood, Pennsylvania, and he gave me 14 cars, including this awesome Tamiya trophy truck, a Team Losi buggy that goes 70 miles an hour. It was a brushless setup. And the brushless setup one was ready to run. This guy needed a couple parts that I've ordered, and they're in. And I also have parts going for one of the Tamiya buggies that I'll put video up of. I've painted it already. It's ready to go. But the kids are loving him. That was the whole point, so that my kids could have some cars and stuff. And so I've been ordering parts for these here and there as I get money together. And so we should have a second buggy running here in a couple weeks. And obviously this truck is running, and so all my kids have remote control cars now, thanks to Brian, and it just was a huge gift. So thank you once again, Brian Field. And I will be posting more videos as we get each truck up and running. Ryan took the monster truck, so I was sad about that. He's like, "That's mine." Yeah, that was the... it's a pretty cool buggy. It's a... wait a minute, do I have a job already? Man, I keep doing this. 45 hours. I guess I just picked the job up, so we'll pick up from where I'm at. But anyway, it's a I think it's a Tamiya Blackfoot, I think. It's like a Ford... Uh-oh, my joystick's not working. Oh, god dang it. It's a Ford monster truck. So, pretty cool stuff. Also a bunch of Team Losi, like, racing... Like, serious, like, racing trucks. Let's see, keyboard, mouse, steering, including pedals. Why is my controller not showing up? Alright, I got it going. I forgot to log in. I have to log in through, because I'm using the Steam controller, you have to use Steam. It's really weird how you do it. You have to use Big Picture, or the controller will not get identified. It's one of those interesting issues. So if you've only watched my truck videos, then you probably don't know, but I have a new computer. Oh, I'm in England. Great. That means I'm going to have a crash. Oh, yeah, so we're just starting. Obviously, we're just leaving the facility. We're going to take this across into Europe, and I think this is going, if I remember right, this package is going to maybe Poland. Let me take a look here. Oops, wrong button. Which is it? There we go. We are going to Wien. I think that's somewhere in the east. I don't know. Those are city names I'm not familiar with. Could be Czech Republic. Not sure. You think with a guy whose name Bofors the Cannon, he would know. Now, one of the things that I notice, and I think I talked about this last time, that's different between this game and American Truck Simulator, the brakes work so much better in this game. I never feel like I'm going to slide into a truck in front of me, which happens all the time, as you guys know, in American Truck Simulator. So the hope is that they'll fix that, but maybe I just have to get used to it. Maybe that's not something that's realistic, but whenever I've driven trucks, it seems like the brakes are amazingly good. Like, it's never you don't ever feel like you can't stop. So I think... I don't know if this one's more realistic or if that one's more realistic, or if I have to change a sensitivity setting or something that's not set right, but anyway. So I got a new computer, and for those of you that don't know, I'll kind of go over the story. I'm way speeding. Well, it went from 30 up to 48 on the bridge. Interesting. My editing computer, I did a photo shoot last Friday. And you can tell here just by the silky smooth frame rates. And I can turn my mirrors up all the way now. I can actually see what's behind me and see it sharp in detail. Awesome. So what happened was I got home from this photo shoot, and I went to put my SD card in. Sorry, I'm driving on the wrong side of the road because I'm from America. And lo and behold, I was... Where am I going? What? Anyway, I'll get to the story eventually. I couldn't get the SD card to work. Sorry, I'm tired. I've already been having problems with that computer, with it being really obnoxiously slow. So I couldn't get the card to work, so I did a workaround where I plugged my drone directly into the computer and then came back and I was able to get it to load the files, and then I went to import them into Lightroom and I couldn't open the folders. It just got stuck. And I got mad, and I called my wife and I said, I know we're not supposed to be putting things on credit, but I can't do this anymore. I can't even function and get my photos edited. I have to be able to do this. And so she's like, all right, well, just go get a new computer. And so I went to Micro Center that night, and I said, here's what I want. Here's my budget. Let's do some workout and work something out. So I bought 2 SSD drives, one for each computer. One was a 240 gig, or 250. Ooh, I hit that hard. And I'm on the other side of the road now, but it seems like, I don't know, I'm just going up here because this seems to make more sense. Oh, I wish I wouldn't have stopped all the way. And then the other one was a 500 gig, and that's what's in my gaming computer. Okay, now we're driving on the correct side of the road. So anyway, I bought a motherboard. Yeah, I bought the whole thing. I got the latest Core i5 processor, top of the line Core i5. So it's I think it's the 6400K is the serial number or whatever, the model number, and it's a 3.6 gigahertz that turbo boosts up to 4, I think, or something like that. 3.9 or something, which is similar to what my other processor did. It's just like 1 gigahertz faster, but it's all the new, it's like a 10% increase because of all the new internals that they've done to the processors. That makes it different than my 3-generation old Wolfsdale processor. "16 gigs of RAM, 2400 speed DDR RAM, and the star of the show, I upgraded from the R9 380, which resides in my now editing computer, to an R9 390. So I said, what's the best bang for my buck? What do you have open box that's great? So I saved about $50 and got an open box R9 390 with 8 gigs of RAM. I did have 4 gigs of RAM before, so I'm now up to 8 gigs of RAM. The net performance increase is that I can now record at 90% quality instead of 80% quality. I can record at 60 frames a second instead of 30, and most of my games run pretty happily with everything turned up all the way between 50 and 60 frames per second. Right now we are getting 50 frames a second with everything maxed out on this game. And that seems to hold true for World of Tanks, for the Farm Sim. I haven't seen anything below 30 frames a second, but in general I'm running about 60, so it's nice and silky smooth even while recording. And of course it runs better when I'm not recording, because the recording does take up some system resources, but in general it works very well. Now the thing that I'm sad about, the video card is powerful enough that I could theoretically run the AMD and NVIDIA both have their own what do you call it, like video codecs that you can record with, and I would love to be able to record with the AMD codec. It's a VBR codec, so what that means is it compresses the files as you're recording, and it does a really good job. So right now I'm using Motion JPEG. It's compressing them. 1 minute of video of Motion JPEG is about 400 megabytes at the quality settings that I have it set at. Okay, so let me say that again. 1 minute is 400 megabytes. You can imagine how quickly I run out of drive space. I can do about 2 or 3 series videos, and I have to start looking at producing them so I can get the drive space back, because I have a 2 terabyte drive. I pretty quickly, with several hours of video, can fill that up real quick. So anyway, that's always a concern when I'm recording, and I have to really watch what I'm doing. But if I was using the AMD app or the NVIDIA app, I would be able to record at any, I guess, how do I put it? It would be VBR. And so let's do that again. So 1 minute of video is 400 megabytes, the way that I'm recording right now. If I had the ability to use the AMD app, I would be able to record 1 minute of video, and it would take 22 megabytes. So I'd be going down from 400 megabytes to 22 megabytes. You can see a significant improvement in space savings. And it would also run faster on my computer because it uses the GPU to process the video rather than taxing the whole system. So it has two benefits. One, it gives you a much better file size, and it runs with much less overhead. The issue is, because I use Adobe Premiere, and I get Adobe Premiere with my artist pack because I'm a graphic designer and I do all the photography and all that stuff for a business. Adobe Premiere is part of the package that I use. Wow, this truck takes forever to turn. Come on. I'm going to get whacked. Come on. Sorry, I had to make them slow down, but so I get Adobe Premiere, I don't want to say for free because I pay for it every month, but it's part of the package, and I use it for my weddings. So, you know, and I also use it for doing my video stuff. It's designed for professional video people that are not using VBR video codecs. So Adobe Premiere does not support the AMD app or the NVIDIA app. So I'm skunked. I cannot get it to work where I use VBR. What happens is the audio gets out of sync. So, you know, like let's say World of Tanks, you fire the gun and 20 seconds later you hear the gun fire. And that happens very quickly. It gets out of sync. So unfortunately, Sony Vegas is the product that supports that. I think also maybe the other company, I can't think of the name right offhand. I think it's like Pinnacle Studio or something like that. I think Pinnacle also supports it. And then there was one more, Cyber Video maybe, I think is the name of the product. Cyber Video also supports compressed video. So Adobe really is the only one that doesn't support it at all. And that stinks because, you know, I need it. But whatever. Someday I may buy Vegas Video. I really like the Adobe system because it's a subscription. So I just pay a monthly fee. I don't have to keep upgrading. I don't have to worry about getting the latest and greatest. It's always up to date, and I don't have to think about it. But I really wish I could record those VBR formats because it would actually make it look better for you guys too, because it's going to be smoother frame rates. Now here that we're on the road, I'm getting a solid 60 frames per second. My computer's locked at 60 because my refresh rate's 60, so I can't go any higher than that. So it might even go faster, but it can't. So anyway. So I thought you guys would think that was interesting. But anyway, it's a great new computer, and I'm very happy with the performance. I can reboot in about 6 seconds, and it's just smooth as silk. And I was playing Skyrim the other night. It looks absolutely beautiful. And so hopefully you guys will see those videos here soon. I'm uploading them as we speak, so you should be seeing them either before or when I release this video. By the time you see this video, I probably will have that next buggy running. I'm waiting on one more piece before that I can put that buggy together. So we'll have, let's see, what do I got so far? I have a Tamiya Unimog. That's that little blue truck. Evelyn has her little pink monster truck. Seth has a green Traxxas Rustler, and then now I have the Tamiya trophy truck, which Violet's learning how to drive, and Evelyn also can drive. And then Matey is going to have one of the Tamiya buggies. I'm going to get both of the Tamiya buggies working. The reason being I went for the Tamiya stuff is because the Team Losi stuff that Brian gave me doesn't have any electronics at all. So they will need, you know, probably between $75 and $150, depending on what I want to do. If I want to go with like Tamiya can motor setups, yeah, you're looking at about maybe $100. If I want to go for like a higher end setup with brushless and all that stuff, LiPo batteries, you're looking more to $200 to $300 per car to get them running. So I probably will go with the cheaper setups. But for right now, the Tamiya stuff is easy to use. It's really durable. It's designed more for playing around the yard. Those Team Losi buggies are really designed for going to the track. Now, we do have a track by our house, and I will be taking my kids up there to do it. So they can learn how to race the buggies too. And so we'll be using the Team Losi stuff for the racing. because you don't want to use like Tamiya scale buggies for racing. They're just not fast enough, and they're not designed for that kind of terrain. They'll get all ripped up. Whereas the Team Losi stuff really is designed to be track compatible. They've got softer tires, they've got really grippy tires, but if you bash them, like if you play with the Team Losi stuff in the yard, and I found this art with the 70-mile-an-hour buggy, the two-wheel drive buggy he gave me, the tires are bald after the first run. It's just because they're not meant to run on pavement, they're not meant to run on grass even, really. It's supposed to be run on loose dirt. Now, he gave me tons of spare tires, so it's not a huge deal. I just will keep these tires as my racing slicks, and then the other tires I'll put on when I go to the track. But yeah, it ate them right up. I was like, oh, these are looking pretty bald. Like, they were a little bit bald to start with, but they went bald real quick. Like 2 or 3 runs and they were completely bald, and I'm like, well, I'll leave those on and leave them as the around the yard tires, but I really want to kind of avoid running those around the yard anyway, because that's not really what they're designed to do. It's a track special. So, oh, got the European lane end here. Gonna get over. Now, I did get a Jake brake for this truck. This is the first time in the EuroTruck simulator that I've put a Jake brake in, and it works pretty good. You can see right there I didn't use any brakes. I could probably turn my lights off too. It's going to be like midday here. I feel like the trucks in this game have a harder time accelerating, and they stop faster, and that probably on both ends, I think that to me it feels a little more realistic. These roads are so narrow. But I think SCESI or SCS software, they're doing a good job with the American Truck Simulator. I've seen some of the pre-release footage of the what's the name of that? The Arizona DLC, and it looks fabulous. And they've changed the way that the shoot, I have to turn the map thing off. They changed the way that a lot of the intersections work in Arizona itself. I don't know that they're going to update the other states, but the roads look more realistic. They have more realistic interchanges, and it's great looking. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be soon here. So we are entering into the Netherlands or Belgium. I couldn't tell which one. Maybe Germany. Where did we? I always get lost here. I think we're in Belgium now. But we could be in France. I got plenty of fuel. I'm doing fine on sleep. Maybe not plenty of fuel. Did that just say I was... Oh, I was looking at the wrong gauge. Oops. I was looking at the right gauge thinking that's fuel. That's the left gauge. I'm going to slow down and get some gas, huh? There we go. 30 miles an hour. I love this, the way the truck's in my spot. That's a tall wagon he's pulling. It's not my spot, obviously. It's the gas pump, so it's everybody's spot. Fuel it up. Bighorn. I love this truck. I think this is definitely the nicest truck in this game. I mean, everybody has their favorites, but I think as far as like luxury, this is really a top-notch truck with the fact that you can have the full gas capacity and yet also have the double wheels in the back and stuff. It's a bigger truck frame. It's obviously a Mercedes-Benz. It's, you know, best in class. Fast fill up. And we're cruising along with our finances. You can see here I got $155,000 again. That was after doing some upgrades to the truck. Our money goes up pretty quick because I have so many drivers working for me now. This is real pretty here. This reminds me of Ohio. That's the kind of hills we have in Ohio. on the eastern side of the state, like over by Pennsylvania. It is pretty funny, though. Once you enter into Pennsylvania, it gets really hilly. Like, as soon as you cross the border, it's super hilly. I gotta run up. These guys are gonna... They need to get out. I'm just gonna wait here, and I'm gonna accelerate on the... what do you call that? The berm. Oh, they stopped for me. Look at that. Oh, it's because I have my hazards on. Well, that works. In real life, that never happens. So I think we're going to start heading south, because right now we're going along the northern border of the country. Yeah, we have to be in Belgium, Brussels, and Rotterdam. Those are like, it's like Amsterdam or something. Which would be like, is it Holland? Or the Netherlands. We're going to head towards Luxembourg here, which is heading towards Germany. I think, if I'm not, and somebody will correct me, I'm sure, I think Luxembourg is its own country, if I'm not mistaken. Like it was part of France, but it's its own little country. Kind of like how Washington, D.C. is its own little... It's a District of Columbia, it's not a state. It's like its own little thing. Yeah, I know American Truck Simulator is going to get be a lot of fun when they start adding in distances like this, where you can go for like 2 days of driving, because it's going to add in so much. You're going to make so much more money, because I'm making like $45,000-$50,000 per trip. Now they're long trips, unfortunately. Then, like I said, there's still parts of the country that I've missed because I haven't strategically decided like which cities I'm going to go to, so I just kind of picked the most expensive trip. So I'm missing out on some of the country. I haven't seen the whole country yet because I keep doing that, but I'm making a lot of money. So right now I'm trying to grow the company, and to the point where I can just, it is pretty crazy how fast I make money, though. I think when I started the last video I had 80,000, and I'm up to 155 now, and that's partly because the trips pay so much, but it's also partly because of the It's also partly because of the fact that I have like 9 employees. So we'll start seeing that in American Truck Simulator too. They make me a couple $1,000 a day. Just kind of let people know I'm driving slow here. I'm really close. Oh, yeah. Are we going to continue? Nope, we're going towards Liège. Köln? I think those are all German cities. I don't know. Ask me all the cities of Michigan. I probably can name a lot of the big ones. Germany, not so much. Yeah, I'm not from the area. Oh. No damage. Not to me, anyway. That was close. I was looking down at the GPS seeing which way I was going to go, and the lane ended. I hate when they do that. I hate those cruddy lane ends. But it is what it is. I don't think they're going to change it. That's one thing that's not in American Truck Simulator that I'm very happy. In general, the lanes don't end when you get to the end of the road, so... Yeah, so hopefully you guys like that little video. I'm going to try to do that as much as possible so you guys can kind of see when I talk about stuff. I talk about airplanes a lot, and at some point, I'd like, when Mark's home, which he's going to be gone for a couple months, but I'd like to get him to film the airplane. He does a real good job filming them because he knows how to run the camera and keep stuff in focus. And I'd like to have him do that. Though I should probably teach Ryan how to do it too. Whoops! Somehow I got de-cruise controlled here. Alright, so let's take a look at our status once we get around this corner and see how much time I have left before I have to sleep, and also how far we have to go. It's going to be at least one stop, I think. It might be a 2-stopper though. Yeah, 6 hours for the next rest stop, and I have 16 hours to go, so we probably will be able to get it done in one more trip after I sleep. Oh, not again. Turn that off. There we go. I don't like the way it overlays the GPS. One of the things I like about American Truck Simulator is the GPS placement. You know, now if they would allow us to move that information around the screen, I would actually put it up in the upper part of the screen somewhere, and then just leave it open like I do in American Truck Simulator. But with American Truck Simulator, some of the trucks allow you to, the way that they're set up, they allow you to leave it open. I wish you could do that on this. Whoops, yeah, just follow this guy. He's obviously going the same way. Liege. Maybe a ferry boat there? I'm trying to figure out what that sign is on the Liege. Train, maybe? I don't know. Maybe there's a big train depot in Liege. That guy's staying in that lane. Okay, now we are in, let's see, A. So, is that... I don't know. That was my fault, totally. I was scooting around on my chair, not paying attention. Rats. Did it damage the cargo? Nope, thankfully it just damaged my rig. I'll take that. Now, interestingly, in the American Truck Simulator, I would have gotten dinged with a big fine, like a $700 fine for that. But, this game is a little more forgiving. Hang on one second, folks. Alright, sorry about that. I had to readjust my monitor stand here. Oops. Cruise control. No. 90. See, in the way that they have this set up, unfortunately, because of that issue with the lanes just ending, I oftentimes find myself staying on... We're ending into Germany here, I think. I find myself staying in the left lane, and you're not supposed to do that, but you keep having to get over, like, at every exit, so it's... There, see, even my drivers are making about $5,000 to $6,000. Euros, sorry. And I know, it's diesel. It's not gas, it's diesel. Or petrol. I guess it's... In Europe, it probably is diesel and petrol. Petrol would be gas, I think. Whoops, bumped my thing again. Oh, and the lane ends. Yeah, I hate that. Oh, dang it. That's like my 4th accident this... I was going 90 miles an hour, or 90 kilometers an hour. It's like, dude, slow down. I'll go like 300 if you want. But I'll get a ticket. There he goes. Slow down, jerk. I wish they had service stations along the road, but they don't. Oh, did my speed limit drop? 80. Oh, because we entered into Germany. So once we get straightened out here, I'll play with my cruise control. Sorry, now I'm focused. No more crashes. It's a cool bridge. What? Why did my cruise control turn off? What the heck? Truck's got a mind of its own. So here, I'll just stay in the middle lane because, you know, these side lanes are going to end with every exit. They'll end. I had to, that Corsair that I showed you at the beginning, the reason it's flying again, it has a, I have an issue with a, my friend that owned it before was kind of a rough lander, and he smacked up the landing gear on the right side, and hitting it so hard that it twisted it out and made it crooked. And it's a hard airplane to land if you don't have a long, big landing strip. It's a it's a Corsair, so their tail draggers are not easy to land. They take a lot of practice, and he tried to flare it, and you don't flare tail draggers. You fly them down to the ground and then level out, and then you ease off the throttle and allow those front wheels to connect with the ground. If you do it too hard, you'll bounce it. If you try to flare, you'll stall it. And he ended up flaring, and he stalled and hit the gear and bent it. And so forever the airplane has had issues. And so when I got it, I decided I was going to replace that landing gear, not knowing like what a nightmare job it would be. You have to actually cut like huge sections of the wing apart and disassemble all these pieces. It took me probably, I thought it'd be like a half an hour job. I was going to do it while I drank my morning coffee, and 3.5 hours later I finally had the gear in and everything working. But as you saw there, it was flying great, and the gear are awesome now. They weren't closing all the way either. They weren't retracting all the way, and I figured out with the radio how to fix that. So now they retract fully, and they extract fully. What do you call that? Deploy. I think both lanes go according to these signs. We'll see. See how fast these guys are going around me, though? And maybe I'm still going 90 kilometers an hour. I think I might have forgotten. But I think for them the speed limit is 110 or something like that, so they are going to be going a lot faster. But it just makes it hard if you have to get over and get crashed into. Of course, maybe if I wasn't such a bad driver. See how my guy's stamina is doing. We probably will take a look here and see. 4 hours. I really want to push it all the way because I don't want to have any driving time tomorrow. I think I get 12 hours, so I need to hopefully end up with 10 on the other end once we sleep. So we're going to just keep going. I like the way the road looks here with the one lane that's different colored than the other ones. Maybe they use like I wonder. Here's what my thought is, because I see this in other places too. If well, either they use concrete in one lane and then pave the others, because pavement, I think asphalt wears down quicker from the trucks, but concrete lasts longer. So maybe what they're doing here, and I could be wrong, maybe they're using concrete in this lane. Because this is really the truck lane, and then the other ones are asphalt. Because asphalt is smoother, or asphalt, or tarmac, or whatever you guys call it. What those Europeans call it. We call it asphalt, but I know it's called asphalt, I think, over there, or tarmac. It's smoother, whereas concrete, tends to be a pretty rough ride, but concrete is stronger. However, I think asphalt actually survives temperature changes better. I could be wrong. But I know with concrete, you have to have those expansion joints, so it makes for a rough ride where you're like... Now here, they're all the same color here. So that maybe that just was recently paved, and these are paved a long time ago. I know like Detroit especially has, they have rough winters. Cleveland does too, but we still go with asphalt for most of our roads. Though my neighborhood's concrete, but most of the freeways in Cleveland are asphalt. Oops. So Detroit has all concrete freeways, and it's like, actually most of Michigan I think are concrete freeways if I remember right. Definitely around the Detroit area, but I think now I'm thinking about it, I think all of the roads are washboard roads. And so as you drive through Michigan, it's like boom, 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 like the whole way. And one time I had this rental car. I was doing computer work in Michigan, traveling all over the southern half of the state. So going from, you know, Ann Arbor, well, Detroit, Ann Arbor, Kalamazoo, Battle Creek, Lansing, Grand Rapids, Grand Haven, traveling all over the state. And I had this Buick. The rental car that they gave me was this, I think it was a Buick. It was a Century, I think. No, the Century was nicer. It must have been a Regal, which was like the step down, but it had like grandpa suspension. And so it got this rhythm going on those washboard roads where the car would start bouncing because, you know, the roads had the bumps every certain amount of feet. And so it was like boing, 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 like the whole way through. And I remember laughing so hard as I was trying to keep this car on the road. It was, I think it probably was the late 90s or early, it had to be late 90s. This guy got married in 97 or 96? 96. Yeah, because this is our 20 years. So I got married in 96. So it had to be like I mean, it could have been a 2000 because I was working for them then. But it could also have been newer, like maybe 2002 or something like that. But it was just funny because it was just such a bouncy car. Oh, I remember coming back one time, dude. And okay, so like, you know, you have the bridge skip. That's what we call it. Like where the road is asphalt and then you have like a joint, like a separation joint. And at least in Ohio, all the bridges or most of the bridges are concrete. So there's this transition, and it's usually kind of bumpy, like as you transition from the bridge to the pavement. Well, I don't know what was going on. It was spring, and I was in a Chevy Monte Carlo, once again a 90s model or early 2000s model. Nice car. Was it the Malibu? No, it was an Impala. And I hit the bridge skip, and it hit so hard that it actually stalled the car. So the motor shut off, and I don't know if it was a crash detection or something like that, where it had an automatic shut off in case of accident. And but I was driving along and the motor shut. I was like, bam, and I'm like, holy cow, and the motor shut off, and so I had to like throw the car into neutral and start it on the fly because you can't start it when it's in drive. They won't. The computer won't let you. And you shouldn't be able to because you damage the engine, obviously, if you started it while it was in gear. But at first I tried to start it while it was in gear because I forgot. I'm panicking because the car is like slowing down. I'm on the freeway in the middle of all this traffic. And so then I threw it into neutral and started it. And it came right back up, thankfully. But I was like, wow. I mean, that was scary. And it was pretty funny. And that was over, gosh, I want to say that was in Elyria. I was on my way back from Michigan from one of my many, the company that I worked for was Associated States. Well, I had other projects up there too for SARCOM, but I was contracting at Associated States, and they had several properties up there. I'm actually going to be going to photograph those properties next month, so I'll be up driving around Michigan again. But I went up there every 3 to 6 months I had to visit those properties to make sure their computers were working and fix any issues that they were having. So I'm going to be getting off here at Frankfurt. Dude, see the signal? Hello? So I will be doing the trip again, but I used to go up there all the time, so... And it was real nice because my cousin lives in Grand Haven. I'm actually, hopefully, I don't know if they still have the Grand Rapids properties that I used to go to, but they had 3 or 4 in Grand Rapids. So during the days that I was working in Grand Rapids, which usually like 3 or 4 days, I got to visit I'd stay with my cousin and we hung out every night. It's good times, I look back on that era of my life fondly, and I'm hoping to relive it a little bit in the upcoming weeks here because I'll be able to see Joe, and he's my cuz. But yeah, Grand Rapids is beautiful, and he actually, at the time, he was living in Grand Haven, but he's since moved to Grand Rapids. It's interesting. It's a very artistic community. They have a lot of like actors guilds and actors, and I mean, what do you think of when you think of Grand Rapids? Most people don't even know what it looks like or what it is, but it's the home of Amway. It's like the world headquarters for Amway International. But it's a pretty decent-sized town. I mean, it's bigger than Akron. It's bigger than Canton. It's almost the size of Cleveland, and it's beautiful. It's really clean, and it's really, you know, seems like a really nice place to live. So, but there is a lot of actors and stuff that they have like a real active theater community. I know that he and his girlfriend, he's an actor full time, and then his girlfriend does runs a theater. I forget what it's called, but she has a theater that puts on comedy and plays and stuff like that, and it does really well. So it's pretty cool stuff. So anyway, I'm looking forward to going back up there. And you know, if you go up north in Michigan, it's absolutely gorgeous. The Sleeping Bear Dune is really cool. Traverse City is beautiful. Whitefish Bay. And then you go on further up to the Upper Peninsula, and you have obviously the Mackinac Bridge and Mackinac Island, and St. Ignace and Sault Ste. Marie. It's cool stuff. All right, we're coming up on a rest area. I'm going to take a look real quick here. My guy's pretty cooked. Could probably do it now. We'll fill up too while we're here. We've used about a little bit over a quarter tank of gas. So we'll stop for gas and stop for sleeps. Where's our sleepy spot? A lot of trucks have stopped here. It's a popular rest stop. So we're going to get some diesel. Stop for diesel. Truck num-nums. Good little truck. Good big honking truck, actually. I think we'll be able to stop here. I'll pull all the way up if I can. Will it let me? I'd like to stop in the further slot so that we don't have to... Somebody else doesn't have to try to back in. Let's see if we're in the spot. Nice. Yeah. And we're going to turn those headlights off and go to sleep. Sawn logs. Oh, the rain has started. Well, that's why we got wipers. Yeah, 10,000 income. Look at that. We're up to $187,000, and that's from 155 yesterday. While you sleep, working while you sleep, man. I'm telling you, these guys make some big money. Now, one of the things I'd like to get is an IR tracker. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I start a donation channel? I really hate to ask for money, but you know. And it doesn't really, I guess it doesn't really benefit you guys, so I don't want to do that. It's like I'm already making money on YouTube. It's like, I need more money because I don't make enough. I feel ungrateful asking for money. But you too can support your local PBS channel, the Arthur Broadcasting System, ABS. If you want to continue to have great programming, we need your money to do so. Nova was brought to you today by Sodexo, Tremery, and Mercedes-Benz. Have you driven a Ford lately? I need sponsorships. I need sponsors. And I have great sponsors. You know what? The World of Tanks community, those guys, Mitsutayu, Wallace, Chapin, I think it's Chapin, Mr. Mean, Kit Katla, and many other people, Motor Race Dave, a lot of guys have donated a lot of money to my channel as far as tanks go and premium time and all that stuff for World of Tanks. So I feel guilty asking for stuff, but I try to spend all my YouTube money on YouTube games and stuff like that too, so that we're continuing to have fun or doing giveaways. I gave a whole bunch of stuff away at Christmas. I think I gave away like 7 or 8 items for maybe, it was definitely over $100 worth of stuff that I gave away. But now I brought that car, things are really tight. I'm like, I thought I'd have lots of money left over. I got like $20 left in my account. I'm like, hit 10,000. I'm like, I'm gonna do a big giveaway, and then I'm like, I don't have any money to do any giveaways, but I still may do that. I'm gonna wait till the next YouTube payment comes in a couple weeks here, and then once I make that car payment, and we'll see where we're at as far as money goes, and then maybe I can do a giveaway, like a copy of this game or a copy of American Truck Simulator, or like I think I'll let whoever wins choose. They can have like, they could pick a premium tank, or oh my gosh, excuse me, or maybe some DLC from the Farmer Sim. So that way it could be kind of fun. That way whoever wins, it's like a win-win for the viewers, because if I make it one thing like, oh, we're going to give away the Homer DLC, well, what if you're a Truck Simulator fan and you don't want to have the Homer DLC? It's like, so we'll make it like configure or customizable for you. You pick. More than one way to win. It's like McDonald's Monopoly. I guess the lottery is up to like $400 million again. I might do it. I might buy a couple tickets. You hate to spend money on it because you're not going to win, but nobody won last time. There were a couple $2 million winners. Most people that win the lottery actually end up going bankrupt, from what I've read. But $400 million, I don't know how you could possibly bankrupt yourself unless you bought like, I'm going to buy a couple military jets. $200 million, no problem. Oh, I have to go $1 million in debt to afford that. Let's do it. I mean, how do you do that? I guess that you could. I definitely would buy a bigger house. Come right out there. If I won $400 million, or after tax $200 million, because you got to pay half of it goes right to taxes. I would definitely buy a bigger house. It wouldn't be a $200 million house though, but I'd buy a bigger house because I've got so many kids. It'd be nice to have some room. Though we have a decent sized house, so it's not like we're horribly cramped. But as the girls get bigger and the boys get bigger, it's like they're running out of space. That's the only thing I could think of. I'm happy with my van. I'm happy with my car. So I guess the rest would probably all go to, we'd obviously do savings. I'd retire. I'd stop doing photography altogether and just work on my YouTube channel full time. And then probably that's it. That's all I could think of. We'd put the rest of it in charity and stuff, like do big giveaways. Lots of huge giveaways. Oh, it's all right, Laura. That's all right if they talk and stuff. My kids are always talking on my videos. No big deal. They can talk. It's fine. Look at your... Oh, it's Lady Godiva. Did you say shut up? Goosey, you're super cute. Just so you know, in that remote control video, Goosey did about 20% of the video that you saw. She ran the camera. They all did. Goosey, Seth, and Evelyn all ran the camera. Mater's the only one I'm a little leery about giving my iPad to Mater. He's kind of too little for that, isn't he, Goose? All right, get up to bed. What? Good night, Goosey. I love you. Good night, Evelyn. I love you. I was having an algae infestation. Oh my gosh. You can tell it's getting late. I'm starting to like... Good night, Evelyn. I love you, pretty. Evelyn was in a play last night. She had 2 different parts that she played. She did really good. Super cute. My little chubba pea. Anyway, I forget what I was telling you. I was telling you something else, and it just... Oh! So I've had... My fish tank's doing really good. And all my fish that I got in November are still alive. Dennis Mann, you'll be glad to know that my fish are alive and happy. But I've had a bit of an algae infestation. Still can't say it. And it was because we were overfeeding him. There's no question about that. So I have reduced the amount of food that I'm feeding the fish to one feeding daily. And I went to the store and asked them, and she's like, well, you could do live plants, but she said, honestly, a lot of times the fish eat the plants, and they don't always stay alive. She said, you know what, you're probably better off with getting a pair of algae eaters. So she gave me 2 algae eaters, and so I brought them home. The one really panicked when I put him in there. I had a hard time getting him out of the bag because he kept wanting to sucker himself to the edge of the bag. And these are like fast-moving ones. I'm not sure what breed they are, but they're not like the big flat-looking algae eaters that you guys are probably used to seeing, the ugly ones where you can see their mouth on the tank. These guys look like little pike fish, but then they have sucker mouths, and they're actually, you know, she's like, try these and see if they clear it up, you know. So they are actually really doing a good job cleaning the glass. Now they're not doing the bottom though, so I'm gonna have to probably hand clean that. But I think it's called beard moss, which is really it's a very aggressive form of algae, so I'm struggling with that. I have to keep taking the gravel out and cleaning it, and it grows all over the plants, and it grows all over everything, and it grows fast. So I'm trying to stay ahead of it, but the fish don't seem to mind it. I mean, they're fine. I keep changing the filter and everything. I keep the water clean, and so they're happy. But it's always a fight with that algae. But the fish, those 2 little algae eaters seem to be doing pretty good. So, like I said, the big one, there was a small one and a big one, and the big one really kind of fought me. He was panicking, and when he finally got into the tank, he wigged out. He was like swimming back and forth super fast, and then he just kind of plopped over in the corner and sat there with his fins down. And I'm like, that's not good. So I went in there and I kind of, I poked him around a little bit. I know it's probably not the nice thing to do, but if they're going into shock, I think you want to keep them moving a little bit so that they have that survival instinct. Otherwise, they'll just lay there and die. And I've seen fish do that before. So I kind of, not like made him panic, but I just kind of like softly nudged him, and then he got up and started swimming again. And he's, he calmed down after a little bit, and he's found a little favorite spot in the tank, and he goes and suckers himself to the window there and sits and hangs there. And but it's cute because we've had this quarry cat, and I think he's lonely. Do fish get lonely? I don't know. I think they do, though, because he just was sitting at the bottom of the tank all day, never moving, just kind of sitting there, real sedentary. And so the other algae eater I got, the little one, and like I said, they're both the 2 algae eaters that I got are the same. And the quarry cats, if you don't know what a quarry cat is, quarry cats don't eat algae. They eat they eat food from the bottom and stuff, but they don't eat the algae. So we had him, but these algae eaters are a different type of fish. But it seems like that little one's made friends with him, and they swim around together. But when the quarry cat goes to sit in the back of the tank and kind of hide, the little algae eater goes and sits there with them. So they're sitting there together, and all day long I've been watching them, and I keep finding them together. So they're either swimming around together or sitting together. So I thought that was cute because my quarry cat now has a friend. Hopefully the other algae eater will eventually join them and become friends too. But I'm happy because the fish when I first got them, the Danios, the color fish, were really aggressive. Those are the main star of the tank. They're, blue and purple and pink and orange. They have like all these like real, and green. They're like real fluorescent looking. And but they were really mean to each other, and they would chase each other and end up all day long hiding behind the plants that I had in there and just chasing each other. And they weren't happy. And so I had like 5 or 6 fake plants in there, and I took 3 of them out and left only 2. And so it kind of forced them to be together more, and there weren't as many plants to get territorial over. And so now, after a couple months, it's like they're no longer territorial. They just hang out together, and they kind of swim around, and there's no more like fish attacking each other going on. And I'm glad about that, because I was a little concerned that they were just, there's a big green one. He's the kind of the king of the pack there, and he's always pushing the other ones around. And I was kind of sad, because I'm like, great, this is, they're being mean to each other. But now they seem to be doing just fine. So I'm happy fish, hopefully. So it's funny. Different fish have different personalities too. It's like there's an orange one in there, and every time I clean the tank, I clean the inside with a scraper. He doesn't mind that, and then I take the plants out and clean any algae I clean all the algae out and vacuum it and change out a quarter of the tank. And they're all good during all of that. I heat up some water and put some stress coat in there. I have aged water, but I still use a little bit of stress coat just to keep them happy. And I put that water in there and fill the tank back up. And then when I'm done with all of that, I clean the outside of the tank. I put Windex on a paper towel and I wipe the tank down. And this orange fish, like, he hates it. Every time I do that, he almost has a heart attack. He like freaks out, swims around in circles super fast, and then goes and hides in the corner and like wedges himself in the corner, and it's like panicked breathing. He's and I kind of like I put my finger in there and I slowly like ease him back out again and kind of just keep him going. Same thing. I don't want him to like stress out and die, so I keep him kind of with the other fish, and he calms down and he's fine. But every single time I do it, I don't know if he thinks it's like a shark coming for him or something, but he just wigs out. So I'm trying to use like a darker colored cloth when I clean the outside of the tank now, so it doesn't disturb him as much. Like sometimes I'll use a black t-shirt to do it because he doesn't see it as much. But that white, whenever I use something white, he just wigs out. So it's funny. But the other fish don't care. They don't even see it. They just swim around. So I'm very happy with my fish. And I'm glad they're all still alive. But that was neat to have a rainstorm. Doesn't seem like I see him too often in this game. I see him more in American Truck Simulator. I think it's cool though that it's regional too, because in American Truck Simulator you see it in like when you're in San Francisco, which in the north, like anywhere north of San Francisco in that Northern California region, you see a lot of rain, and I think that's pretty neat because that's really where it is, This guy's going less than 80, and I want to get over, but the other cars are going so fast I'm having a hard time getting over. I guess I could just floor it, gun it around him. This guy's not going to slow down. Look at this. It's like I'm not even here with my signal on. It's a cool bridge. Oh, I need to take a photo. I'll be right back. I think I got a cool screenshot of the bridge. Oh, this guy's sped up. Jerk. I'm thinking about maybe playing Hyper Light Drifter for my channel. I want to feature something newer. I've been playing Skyrim, and I kind of I watch my statistics on these things, and some videos do way better than others, but the farm sim's always done really well. And I was going to do a mod video. I know there's guys out there that are waiting and waiting for this mod video I keep talking about. And dang it, these people. What I found is that turning your hazards on actually gets them to slow down. So I know it's kind of cheating, but sometimes you need to turn your hazards on, and then it slows them down, and then you can get over. Anyway, as I was saying, I've been watching the Skyrim figures, and I've got a couple more episodes to post, but, the first video got like 600 or 700 views. Everybody that's watched it really likes it. I think. They say they do. I can only go by what people tell me, and I'm hoping they're telling the truth, and everybody's like, oh yeah, this is great, But then by the fourth video, I only had like 100 views, and I'm like, I'm going to watch it for a little bit longer and see what the following is. I might do maybe like 5 or 10 more episodes and see how it goes, but I might end up dumping that game, because if nobody's going to watch it, it's not really worth my recording. I mean, it's hard, because here's the thing. I can record... I'm going to play the game anyway. So it's like I can record it and put it up there, and it's not a whole lot of effort because I haven't, there's... My template is basically I throw the videos in and cut them up in 30-minute segments and just throw them up there. I'm not doing like this where I kind of have a set format. I just kind of am just open playing and throwing them up there. So it's not like it's this huge deal, but I don't want to keep going with it if no one's going to watch it. So, though there's 100 people that are watching it, I just out of 10,000, it's kind of depressing. But I don't know. If you're, and I'll probably talk about it. I should probably talk about it in like episode 7 or 8 of Skyrim. I'll just stop and say, okay, you guys want to go on with the series, or should I dump it because no one's really watching? If I get positive feedback, I'll keep going with it. But anyway, I'm trying to find games that are relevant to the channel. So, something that's new like Hyper Light Drifter would probably draw people in. I thought about doing naval action, but once again, the hour to an hour and a half battle is kind of, I don't know if it would make good video. It might be cool to do like a couple like snapshot videos, like kind of showing how the game works and stuff like that, but I haven't played that game in a long time either, so kind of fallen away from naval action. I was all excited about it when I got it, and I just haven't had time to play it. So I did finish Grand Theft Auto 5, which was nice because, first of all, great game. I mean, terrible game, but it's one of those. It's like one of those things. It's a great game. It's horrible, but it's great. And then I also so that'll free up some time. I finally just pounded through the end. I'm like, I got to get this game done. My wife was going out to Pennsylvania to visit a friend for the weekend, and I'm like, you know what? She's going to be gone. This is the perfect opportunity to just hammer this thing out. And so I spent the weekend curled up on the couch finishing up the game, and it took me pretty much the whole weekend to get it done. I think I was done by like Sunday night. And so I can still play it, but I haven't even installed it on the new computer yet. I'm sure it'll run awesome because it was running pretty well on the other computer, and this one's just that much faster that it probably will receive a huge benefit from it. But at this point, I've already finished the whole story, so it's kind of like, what do I do on there? I do like playing the cops and robbers mode. I downloaded the mod that allows you to I forget what they call it, but it's like you play as a police officer. You can pick like different officers and stuff, and then you run around. You get police cars, and you basically run around. You can either do traffic or stop crimes or respond to bank robberies and shootings and stuff. But it's just they're over the top. So it's like in real life when you watch cop chases, they go for a long time. And in this one, it's like there's like 8 bandits in a car shooting machine guns at you, and you're firing machine guns back, and it's insanity. You call for backup, another cop shows up, helicopters come and shoot rockets at them and stuff, and I'm like, I think is it called LAPD? Is that what it is? Or LSPD? LSPD, that's it. Because it's not Los Angeles, it's Los Santos. So, it's pretty funny stuff. And also terrible at the same time. But I thought about maybe doing that for the channel, but it's still really pretty gruesome and vile, and there's a lot of bad language. And so anyway, shout out to Maxim, by the way. Maxim reviewed my channel, and I thought it was pretty funny, the stuff he said. Though I will say that his channel also needs an adult rating because he's got a lot of bad language on there, but it was pretty funny stuff. Very well done. So thank you, Maxim. I appreciate that. Trying to think if there's anything else out there that I need to talk about. I think I said this in the farm videos, but I did get to how I do the music at church. I did get the one guitar player bought me a pedal, and I did get to use it this Sunday, and I'll tell you what, it made a huge difference. It's like the difference of I don't know how to explain it, but there's just a comfortableness level when you're using a setup that you're familiar with, and it made me, I don't want to say it made me play better, but it made me play better because I was more comfortable. So, when you're nervous and you make more mistakes and stuff, I don't know. If anyone's out there is a musician, you know what I'm talking about. If you're comfortable, you got the right clothes on, it's the right lighting, it's the right mood, you can really get into it and play a lot better, and you're not even thinking about playing anymore, you're just doing it. But when you're nervous or if you made a mistake or something, it really throws you off, and it makes it a lot harder to concentrate on what you're doing. And so using that iPad, which is what I was doing before, there's no volume pedal, there's no control over the effects, it's noisy, it sounds bad through the headset. It was a very uncomfortable experience, and so having this new pedal where it just does everything right was a great thing. I really enjoyed it. So anyway, that was fun. I think that's all I can think of. This is the only problem with these 2-hour-long treks. I run out of material to talk about. Usually when I record, I record one episode of something a day, and World of Tanks I don't really have to come up with stuff because we're just playing. So the battles kind of bring up their own subjects, but With the truck games, it's, you know, I'm good for about an hour with the gift of gab, but then I kind of run out of material, and I'm like, I need to have like a call-in section. What do you guys think about that? It would get crazy though. That's the only downside is like I don't have a screen. I need a call screener. Hi, you're on Arthur Chapman's Trucking. How can I help you today? You know, Art, I was driving along Interstate 50 and I saw, you know... Oh, speaking of which, that's another thing I can talk about. So about 3 weeks ago, I was on the way to either get my son or visit my son or drop my son off. I can't remember where, but we were on our way to Youngstown for something. And I saw one of those Freightliner, I think it's an Argosy. If I'm not, I could be saying, I think it's Argosy, like Argosy. And it was the last cab over engine truck that was available in the United States. And it was sold, I think, up into like the mid-90s, maybe even the 2000s. But I saw one, and I was like, whoa, it's a COE. Like, you never see them here in the States, ever. Unless they're short. Like, if you're dealing with a, like an express, like a daytime truck. But they're not tractor-trailers. They're expediters. That's the word I'm looking for. So you'll see them for expedition trucks, or you'll see them in the yard trucks, like the little flat front trucks that they use to shunt trailers around the tractor-trailer facilities. But they don't go out on the road. They're not over the road. In fact, I don't think they're even legal on the roads. You don't see them out, you know, on the streets driving. But they use them to move trailers around at big facilities and factories and stuff. So that was the first one I'd seen in a long time. And, you know, I saw... Hey, Ryan, where did we go recently where we were going on a long trip? No, it wasn't the Pennsylvania trip. It was more... I went somewhere with my mom, maybe. I'm trying to think of where I went. Yeah, I did do a bunch of photo shoots. I'm trying to... Where did I go recently? This last place I drove out of town, yeah. It was somewhere where I was going. I think it was for work, and I know it was in Ohio. It was either on the Turnpike or on 76. Why was I on 76? Oh, well, it doesn't really matter. I was back on that same area, going out towards Pennsylvania for something. I don't remember what it was, but maybe it was my trip to see Brian. Anyway, to get those trucks, the Tamiya trucks, and the Team Losi trucks. I saw another one. Another Freightliner Argosy, and so it was pretty cool. It was the second one I'd seen in so many months. Now, the more I play the truck simulator, obviously, the more I'm paying attention to that kind of stuff. In general, I'm not. I don't care, and I'm not paying attention, but... Uh-oh. Well, we're almost at our destination, so we made it. I didn't run out of content. I'm shocked. This is going to be a really long video. It's got to be like 30 gigs. It's probably actually 120 gigabytes, that's my guess. Because we played for 2.5 hours last night, and I had about 200 gigs. So, this is probably about 180, 170, somewhere around there. Anyway, it was really cool to see some cab-over trucks. Because, like I said, you don't see them very often in Ohio, anyway. I don't know about the other states, but here in Ohio, you never see them. To the point where I thought they were illegal. Ryan and I both thought they were illegal, but they're not. They're legal. Nobody drives them. So... All right, we approach our destination, and it's been a great drive. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will continue to do the European Truck Simulator. It's funny, I've got way more episodes of American Truck Simulator, though I've had Euro Truck Simulator a lot longer. And I got to tell you, Euro Truck Simulator is a much larger game. So, you know, obviously you have many countries in Euro Truck Simulator, whereas the American Truck Simulator, you only have, you know, 2 states. Kind of a bummer. A lot of people on my channel have said that they've gotten away from the game because they're done. They feel like they're done with the game. I don't, but I do understand it, and this game does offer a lot more just because it's been around a lot longer. So hopefully they'll get to that point with the American Truck Simulator. I think that they will. I will say this, the parking spots in Europe are much easier. No, I don't need auto parking, thanks. I'm kind of a pro, kind of. Yeah, it's easier to the parking spots are easier here in Europe, and then also the trucks are obviously the flat front, the cab over engines are a lot easier because they're short, so you don't have the issues that you do with the long nosed American trucks where you run out of space to back. Oops, almost. Not quite straight. There we go. All right. Excelente. And we're going to run and get the truck fixed, and then we'll call it an episode. Master. $43,000. That puts us over the $231,000 mark. Minus expenses. New screenshots available for upload. Oh, that's... Why did it bring that up while I was in the middle of the game? Okay. Let's go ahead and drive. You know what? We might even buy a garage because I got enough money to. There's no reason not to. So let's take a look. Is our loan paid off? Well, you know, we'll get to the garage first. The gas station first. Let's take a look at the map. Let's see where we got to go. World map. I'm in Wien. I'm in Vienna. All right. There's got to be a place for sale here. What is this? This is the repair shop. This is the... I think that's where we're going to go. Because I think if you have this, can't you repair at a garage? I don't know. We'll go take a look. Either way, we're going to do both, so... Might be time to buy a new truck, too. Hey. But this thing's awesome. But I could see driving a different truck. I've driven a lot of miles on this one. So let's see what's going on with the bank here. Well, let's see what the loan is before I do all this. Come on. Oh, for crying out loud. Stop rolling backwards. Okay, parking brake. Parking brake's not working. What? Let's see here. And we're going to look at... I don't want the map. I want to get the menu. All right, there we go. Bank. What do we got going on here? Oh, no. We have a big loan left to repay, so I'm not going to do this yet. I'm going to wait till the loan's paid off. Because what we really should do, the best way to do it is to get it so that you're buying a bunch of trucks at once and fill the garage up as quickly as possible. The other thing we could do is, instead of doing that, we could also expand our garage in Norway or Denmark or wherever I bought it. I don't remember where that was, but we'll take a look. Let's run over to the repair store, and then we'll take a look there. I think that was over to the right. No turn on red in Europe. Yeah, it's to the right. Right and right. Yeah, I've really enjoyed this truck. I will be sad to move on to another one, but I think that I'd like to, you know, part of the fun of the game is trying all the different trucks out. And unfortunately, once again, in the American Truck Simulator, you have 3 trucks to pick from. Now, I thought they were going to release a Peterbilt, but they didn't. Like a classic Peterbilt, but they didn't. So I don't know what's going on with that, but they need to start getting more trucks in the game. I know that there's a lot of mod trucks that you can do, so that'll make up for some of it, but not all of it. But this game has a nice selection of a bunch of different trucks. Here's an Iveco dealership. Oh, that's right. That's what I wanted to get. There's a new Iveco that came into the game. I don't know when, but it's a special edition truck, and we'll take a look at that. That's what I wanted to share in this episode too. So this is gonna be a really long episode. Let's go ahead and service this, and then we're gonna go to our garage and we're gonna take a look at our start. Sorry, wrong button. Hold on. Let's take a look at the company manager. We have a garage manager, and we have a Uppsala. So that's in Sweden, I think. I don't know. It's one of those Nordic towns. We can upgrade our garage. How much? 100,000. Let's do it. Boom. Leaving us with 130,000. It's going to show us the garage. Yeah. I like the 3D windows with the 2D background there. That's it gives it a depth, but it's also flat at the same time. There, that's cool. The garage is 3D inside, though. Spend some time on that. So this is our second large garage here in Europe. Wish I could transfer my funds over to the American Truck Simulator. So we have, let's see, here we go. And then if I'm part of the Warsaw garage, I believe. Yeah, so, well, it is what it is. We'll take a look now and see what we can buy from Iveco. I want to show you this truck, and if I can afford it, I might buy it. I don't think I can now that I did that, though. So we'll just keep running this one and maybe buy a couple more small trucks, or at least one more, and put a driver in it. Or wait. We can wait, too. It's not a big deal. We'll have enough money soon. So there's the regular Iveco Stralis. This is what I want to show you, though. There's like a special, this guy, the highway model. And this was not in the game before. As far as I know, I don't know when this got added, but it's a free upgrade, obviously. These are the ones that were in there. Now this, maybe, yeah, we had this before. But there it is. There's another one. There's another Year of Edition version. 510 and 560. So this is a new model that came into the game. Unless I'm mistaken, but I think the base model is what we had before, was this square-looking one with its updates. But then they have that new one, and that's the highway. How much is this? Trade-in value. No, so you pay 51. I'd have to trade my truck in. The list price is 56. Let's go ahead and take a look at the customizations is what I meant. Sorry. So you got the truck. Only one frame available. Same deal. I mean, if you do that, you're gonna change the look. So I wouldn't do that. This is really designed to how it's supposed to be. But you can put in the big motor, 560 horsepower motor. I don't think there's a whole lot of stuff available. This is the interior. This is it. You don't get to pick between the different interiors, but it's the nice one. And the paint, can you do different? Oh, yeah, you can. Look at that. So I didn't think you could change the paint schemes, but apparently you can. But it's a good-looking truck. So I may end up picking one of these up next to see how that is, because like I said, I haven't driven this one yet, as it's new to the game since I've been playing it. But you can definitely see the potential of a cool, that looks really cool, with even just in white. It's real nice. Real clean looking. Oh, and don't forget we have our new wheel DLCs too, so we can do like a white paint wheels. But we'll come up with something more exciting than that. But anyway, I thought this was neat. So I'm excited to see that there's a new truck in the game, and so we'll do that next. But I just don't have the money to do it right now. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Have a great night, and be sure to subscribe.